So if you see over here, this particular business process step, which is assignment of a pay group, has two criteria. One is country has a pay group, and another one is called as, 1 minute, just clicked it accidentally. Yeah, so if you see over here, this one has two criteria. One is country has pay group, another one is assigned company. So it should be like it is part of this country has a pay group and the worker has a company attached to it. Only then this particular step is going to be triggered, which means it's an and criteria and not an or criteria. Please don't get confused with it. Lots of people get confused with whether it's going to be an or an and. So you just have to note that this is going to be a logical and criteria. So which means both of these criteria should be fulfilled for this particular assignment pay group to be triggered. If you see, I've added another step right now. So if you see step A2, I have two such steps called as step A2 and for the rest of them as well. There was already one step called as edit workday account. The order was A2. I've added another step A2, which is for creation of a workday account. Both of them, the ordering looks the same. So how is this going to get triggered in a real life scenario? I'll just add another step over here for step B because step B has no criteria at all. I will add another step B right now for the same compensation hire, but instead of the comp partner, let me put it to comp admin. Let's see what happens there. Because this is another funda which you guys have to understand. Let me say propose compensation. Just putting it as an action. All right. Instead of the comp partner, let me have somebody at a comp, some other person, comp admin or somebody. Okay. I have not given any criteria right now. Okay. Hey, come on. Right. Now, I want you to focus only on the step B. We have two step Bs right now. Both of them are compensation, proposed compensation hire. One is by the compensation partner. Another is going to be by the compensation admin. All right. So forget the label override also and forget the due date also. What happens over here? What happens to these two steps? How does this get triggered? To give you a perspective, what ideally happens over here in proposed compensation hire is you are going to put the compensation relevant information of a person in the hire. That's what the proposed compensation hire does. In the hire business process, you are going to say that this particular person is going to be given a compensation of say X dollars. That's what is going to happen in proposed compensation hire. So this workflow, I'm sure you would have seen some of these workflows during your activity in your post-class sessions, but what exactly does it do, or when does it get triggered, or how does it get triggered? One part is both of them are going to get triggered, but how? When I say both of them are going to get triggered, how? Okay, let me tell you this. We call this as parallel step processing, which means both of these proposed compensation hires are going to get triggered at the same instant. So if I go back to my BP definition, I have two steps, one with the comp partner, another with the comp admin. Both of them are going to get triggered at the same moment. So there will be two steps, one to the compensation partner, one to the compensation admin for action. And it is not either of them who's going to be actioning on this, but it should be both of them who need to action it before it goes across to the next step. So if I see an ordering over here as the same, what it means is these two steps are parallel steps. If you see over here, see here, it says actions that sub-process may lead to unexpected results if executed more than once. You leave that because we are having a parallel step over here. Workday puts in an alert which is similar to this at all times. It's going to say that I have two steps over here which are the same and are also triggered possibly at the same time. So ensure that they do not step on each other's toes. That is simply how we need to have it. And there could be a real life scenario also when you want to have two steps triggered parallelly. For example, I could have a background check. For example, when you are going to be hired, you could have a background check. I might say that the background check for an education as well as a WorkX need to happen at the same moment. I need to send across your background check to multiple vendors at the same instance. Or I could have background check and reference checks. You know, right? Any kind of a hiring that you're going to have in any organization, you could have something like a background check. I could have background check and reference checks initiated at the same instance. Then I could say background check, reference check, both of them are going to go across to the candidate and say that, hey, provide all your information. We're going to initiate your background check and your reference checks. Clear on this funda about what a parallel processing is? And any questions, you can also check this diagram as well, because this diagram is going to give you a simple flow chart how this is going to look like. So I can even show you the previous one. See, for edit Workday account, both these steps are going to get triggered at the same moment. One for editing an account, if you have an account, it's going to get edited. Another, if you do not have an account, it's going to create a new account. But I'm going to be triggering both of these in parallel at the same instance. All right. We will see this now with a real example as well. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be correcting the errors for the higher simplified business process because it seems to have a multiple errors. I will correct it and we will trigger it for our business process or for our organization technology consulting NA, which is Caroli's supervisory organization. And then one important thing I just want to highlight over here next is going to be over here. We call here as complete step. So if you see, I think I discussed about all of this except for complete step. In this particular business process, I can mark only one step as my complete business process step, which means after this step is completed, the business process status is set to be completed, which means it is not necessary that I need to have my onboarding as the completion step. It is not necessary for me to have the onboarding as a completion step. I can even have my first step as completed, whereas the steps which are going to occur after that could be more of notification or relevant steps. All right. Any step which I'm going to say as the completion of my business process, I will call it as a completion step over here. And again, it need not necessarily be the last step. It could be any of these steps. It could be any of these steps. I'm repeating it very, very clearly. It could be any of these steps, not necessarily the last step that I'm going to be having it. Clear on this completion step, and I'm going to be marking this as a completion step because over here, if you see, the error says some steps are out of order. Assign UK payroll must occur after the completion step, which is here it is actually considering step H, which is the last step by default as the completion step. All right. So all that I'm going to be doing right now is assignment of a payroll. I'm going to be putting it over here as the completion step. I'm going to mark assign pay group as my completion step. Why I'm marking it as a completion step? You can just ask me also that. See, I need to ensure that once this is completed, it means this particular business process is set to be completed. Whereas onboarding and onboarding steps, onboarding setup can occur after the completion of my business process. Or those who are from an RDBMS kind of a concept, you might know what is a commit. In a database, you might say what is a commit. Till completion, you're not going to have a commit triggered. So you can say that post a complete a commit step is going to be done in an RDBMS terminology. That's the actual equivalent. And for the rest of the folks, when I say complete, that is when my data is going to get reflected in the back end. For this particular process, my employee ID and all my employee relevant details are not going to be created till I say completed. And even if something is going to error out at that time, I can even roll it back or back out of that. So here I'm going to say assignment of my pay group as the completion step. For that, what I need to do is I need not go to the relevant actions of the business process, but I'm going to go to the step relevant actions. Say I have like 8 steps over here or 7 steps over here. I'm going across to step E, the relevant actions for here. And then I go to the relevant actions over here and I click on business process. And last but one over here, I see set as complete. That's all. I'm just going to say this one is set as complete right now. All right. Another one change, I'm just going to make it in this particular business process because I do not want to trigger the proposed compensation multiple times. I'm going to say I'm going to have just one proposed compensation, which is going to be by the compensation admin. So I'll just remove whatever changes I made in the previous demo. So I'm just going to remove it right now. Just a minute. It's just getting a little bad. I'm going to remove one of these B steps. So let's have it with the comp partner and not the comp admin. I'm going to remove the comp admin relevant step and I'm going to hit OK. And all my errors have been cleaned up in this simplified business process for hire. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go across to the supervisory organization of Technology Consulting NA, which is a supervisory organization of Carol Lee, and I'm going across to staffing tab. For your supervisory organizations that you have created, please go to your supervisory organizations and you may mock the same thing that you have right now. All right. Now let me see if I have any supervisor. I do not have anything right now. Okay, available right now. Okay, let me create one position right now quickly. I'll show you that as well. Right, so as a positioning creation. Okay, let me just create a position. That's better. All right, so for people to create a position, for now I'll just create at least 2 or 3 positions right now, and then I will teach you how to do it quickly as well. I'm going to create something like 10 positions, or we have a batch size of 20. So let me just create 20 for now. An availability date, I'm going to be giving it as today. Earliest hire date, also I'm going to give it as today. And then job profile, let me take Carol Lee's profile and then create that. For your practice assignments, use this position. I will teach you how to do it as well, because create position, let's just hold it for now. Job manager. Successfully, this business processes. All right, this process is available right now. Just give me a minute. Let me just have a couple of pre-hires created for this. I don't have a pre-hire right now. Let me put a no pre-hire as well. It's easier because this seems to be taking a while. Okay, so this one, the problem is this position I created with today's date. Okay, I should have been a bit more careful with that. Just put it as I'll put it as still yesterday's date, which is all right. So perfect. So I have this particular positions available right now. So why is this taking so long? Come on. Oh God, I don't have the people over here. Why is it coming? Okay, let me just create one. That's a better way. So this doesn't seem to be working. Some issue with that. All right, so what I've done right now is for this particular organization, supervisory organization, which is Technology Consulting NA, I've created multiple open positions right now. I've created like something around 20 positions right now, which are currently unfilled, which means all these positions are available for hiring. And if you see the availability date over here, I've given it as yesterday, which is the system date as of now. And the earliest hire date, I've given it as yesterday again. So I've given the earliest hire date for both. Sorry, I've given yesterday's date as for both availability date and earliest hire date. All right, so which means I can start hiring right from this particular moment onwards for this particular position, which is test position RE. So I've created 20 such positions. Now, I just want one question right now. I think I have one question which I wanted to discuss with you all. We've seen this higher simplified business process. And when I go to all the business processes which are there, I see multiple business process definitions. I could be having something like more than 20 or 30 business process definitions which have been created altogether. How will I know which business process is for this specified organization, which is technology consulting? How will I know which business process is for technology consulting? How will I link that? How will I link that? If you see over here, we saw about two methods over there. One, I'm just opening this particular business process. I can create what is called as supervisory organization based business processes, or I can also create what is called as a rule based business process. We are going to see the first method right now. So what I do is I go to higher simplified business process, related actions, and I come across to business process, and I say copy or link business process definition. All right, I say copy or link business process. I go to the effective date. Always when you create a business process, say that the effective date as 1/1/1900 only. Do not create a business process which is going to be from current date. The reason being, if I want to do a retro hire for something in the past, I will not be able to use this particular business process. So the recommended approach for creation of any business process, the effective date should only be 1/1/1900 on, and not something in the past. And go to copy workflow definition to business process. All right, here you can do something like create, or I can even give it like tech consulting NA. I can create one for this particular technology consulting NA, and if I go to the related actions, it is going to pop up what is the type of this particular supervisory organization. All right, so two activities for you. One, you have to create a business process specific to the supervisory organization that you have already created. That is number one. And number two, when it goes to hiring, hire it for the technology consulting NA. That's the two activities that you need to do. Now I'm going to create a definition for tech consulting NA. What I did was I went into the higher simplified business process and I say copy or link the business process definition. And when you do it, if you're doing along with me or if you're going to do it after the session, you can use the higher simplified business process. How you open that is go to the BP or go to the search, type BP colon higher space simplified or simple. You can just use first two characters, that should be good. So you will get the business process definition, which is for higher within braces simplified related actions business process, copy or link business process definition. You will get this particular pop-up here. Give the effective date as 1/1/1900 only. By default it will give it as current date, but give it only as 1/1/1900. Don't give any other dates. I've already explained the reason for that. And then come to the workflow definition. Choose workflow definition to business object, and don't choose this one. We will see this later. Choose only copy workflow definition to business object, and here give your supervisory organization name. In this way, create one specific for you. All right, now I'm going to be using tech consulting, which is the supervisory organization of Carol Lee, which is my user. Right, click OK. Workflow definition of Brody, there is already one for this. Okay, is there already a business process for this? Oh, okay, there's already one which is created by somebody else for this, so let me just knock it out. Not a problem. Okay, they've created a very lean one. I'm just deleting it. Okay, this is being used somewhere. Okay, they've created some kind of an issue over here. All right, for now, I'll just create one for my tech consulting, and I will show you this method. Some issue here. Right, for now, I'm just putting it as tech consulting NA. So, and then I will show you what crap, what exactly. Oh, okay, I get it. What is the problem? Okay. The SUPOCs that we created are not effective as on 1/1/1900. So So I'm just putting one as NS test support. I'm just putting it as current date today. So it should work. So you'll be able to hire one for your supervisory organization effective today. So I think that is the reason why it was not allowing, because your supervisory organizations was dated probably first thing, we have created a definition for your supervisory organization. Next thing, like I said, since this is a position based supervisory organization, you can only hire if I have an open position available. So when I go to this particular supervisory organization, when I go to staffing, I see here staffing model as position, but I do not have any open positions. Any open positions is going to be available only over here. If I go to this tech consulting, if I go to staffing tab, it is going to show all the positions without supervisory report, without job requisitions. And here, if you see in progress position actions as well, and in progress staffing actions. If there are any staffing actions like creation of a position, filling a position right now, all of this will be visible in the staffing tab of any supervisory organization. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, for this particular supervisory organization, I'm going to be creating a position right now. For that, go to the relevant actions of this particular supervisory organization and then come down, go to reorg. In reorg, you do not have the positions over here. What happened to that? All right, sorry, staffing, sorry, it's the other one. So just go to staffing and then open create position. So you just have to go to the supervisory organization, relevant actions. You have something called as staffing. Here, click on create position. So creating a position is going to be simply creating a position where you are going to be hiring, and only those fields which are marked over here as asterisk are going to be mandatory. So position request reason, for now just give it as new. You can choose any of them, there is no hard and fast rule, but I'm just choosing as a new project. Position title, I'm giving it as test, and I'm going to create two open positions, and I'm going to say the availability date as today's date. Earliest hire date is also going to be today's date as per the system, which is 18/9. And then job family, so all the job families and everything which we saw earlier. And for now, choose as no job restrictions for this position. Choose no job restrictions. All right, for now, just choose it. We will see the job restrictions a little next. And then for your profile, just choose it as consultant, which is already an available one, which is what Carol Lee is. And I'm going to choose consultant as my job position, sorry, job profile, and I'm automatically going to get the job description populated based on my job profile as well. Location, I'm just going to give it as San Francisco, a sample location. And for your exercise or your activity, you can choose the location that you created in the past. Time type, I'm just going to give it as, okay, 40 hours. Worker type, I will give it as regular. Okay, regular, it's employee. Right, so difficult to fill. For now, just leave it, overlap everything, nothing else is required. Qualifications, if I want to add a qualification, I can give those qualifications. For now, just ignore it for now, and I'm going to hit submit. Once it is submitted, there is nothing else that is going to happen. Automatically my positions are available here. So in order to hire somebody, I need to go to the position relevant actions over here. So what I do is the same supervisory organization. If you see, once I create that particular position, like I said, since this is a position management based support, only if I have a position open will I be able to hire. Without an open position, I cannot hire anybody. So here, right next to the position, you see it as unfilled, which means there is open right now. And I go to the relevant actions of this particular position, go to the hire option and say hire employee. And here I can create a new hire, or I can just, let me just open a person, search for a person. So there are some hiring restrictions and relevant ones which are created, because this is actually a dummy tenant. That is the reason why there are multiple steps over here which is created. All right. So for now, what I would suggest is, when you go to this, for the first one, it didn't populate the pre-hire and everything. So what I would suggest is choose the second one. The first one didn't come up properly. Choose the second one, because all of them, the name is going to be synonymous. Choose the second one for all of you. Just choose a second option. Don't choose the first hire option. I'll try to prod over this and then find out the issue and try to correct it as well. So what you do is, once you create the position, go to the positions relevant actions, go to hire and choose the second hire option. All right, second hire option. Here choose existing pre-hire. I already had a pre-hire created as test Aryan. And if that doesn't come up, let's choose a create a new pre-hire, because sometimes the search is getting a little bit difficult. Let's create a new pre-hire. It's taking ages now. God. Let me create a new pre-hire for this. So what you do is you create a new pre-hire. It's very simple. Just have to click on create a new pre-hire and click on okay. Come on. Yeah. Once you click on OK, the only important information for now that you need to create is, leave all the ones in the top, the source, referred by and everything. Just create the name of the person. So I'm just saying as test Aryan, and my contact information. One of the contact information is mandatory, either of phone, address or email is mandatory. Any one of these are mandatory. I'm just putting it as home email address. That's it. What else have they populated? Okay, so there is already a person. I'll put it as test RN123. And like I said, the contact information, any one of email, phone, or address is mandatory when you create a pre-hire. So I've just created a new pre-hire for that particular position. Yep. So once I create it, it comes back to my hire employee page where it is going to hire test RN123. And this is the supervisory organization, which is NS underscore test support. And hire date, I'm going to say hire it as on 18th, which is the earliest date by when my position is available. All right. And all the other information is going to be automatically populated. You need not do anything over here at all. And once you hit submit, it is done. What is the error that I get? Field employee type, that's not getting populated. Okay, just put the employee type over here as, what do we have over here for this country? Put it as regular. Just for the employee type alone, just put it as regular and hit submit. So I want to actually highlight this over here is, just go to, if you see this particular business process, which is for hire RN123. If I go to the process, if you see over here, it shows first it was initiated. Next, it shows approval by manager. You may be wondering where this approval by manager is coming from. When I go to my business process, the first step that needs to happen over here is approval by manager. By manager here for this particular supervisory organization, whoever is the approver, which is manager, it needs to go across to the approver by manager. And next, whoever is going to be the security admin, it will go for a creation of a Workday account. Next, if the edit Workday account is applicable, it will go to the next, and then it will go across to compensation partner for proposal of a compensation, and then pay group assignment and all the other relevant steps. That is typically how this particular business process will work. Once you create the pre-hire, it will automatically come back to the hire page where you just have to fill the information and click on OK. It will come to this particular page right after this. All right. Now we have the assignment of the roles and everything is also completed. Right now we have Carolee assigned as the manager. Now what I'm going to go across right now is, like I said, it's a very, very lean supervisory organization that I have for hiring of test supervisory organization. I go to staffing and this particular position, which is unfilled. So the other position, it is in progress right now for test Nishan, which is one for test Aryan. Now I'm going to go across to this particular position over here. And then I go across to hire and I choose the second hire option for hiring an employee. And I go to creation of a new pre-hire. I'm not choosing an existing pre-hire, some issue with that. I'll go to creation of a new pre-hire and I'm going to create a new pre-hire and I'm going to say test RN234. And then I come across to the contact information. I go across to the phone number and I enter a valid phone number right now. And then I say it is going to be a mobile, type as home. That's it. And the rest of them should be fine over here. And why I'm just giving you this, I will show you that as well. And here, those of you who were not clear as to what was going on, after I hit creation of a pre-hire, all that I do is I click on OK, and immediately it goes across to the hire screen over there, where this pre-hire information is going to be automatically transferred to the hiring information. So this is going to be the employee whom I'm going to be hiring, and this information will automatically flow over there. And my hiring date, I'm going to give it as yesterday's date in the system. An employee type, I'm going to give it as regular. Right, and all that I do is click on submit. Right. Oh, why is it coming as reassigned over here for this as well? This shouldn't come as reassigned. What is the date of this assignment? Is it assigned as of today or is it assigned as of yesterday? So that should also be coming up properly, because that unassigned task will go across when I do not have somebody assigned to that particular role. And since we've already assigned it, this is also perfect. We have a couple of people who've been assigned, both Carolee as well as, and this is the Carolee 21198. It's the same. I'll do one thing. I'll just knock this out. So that's going to clean it up.